Hey, what's up guys? I'm back with another video. This time it's going to be for Smite again. I've been playing the hell out of Smite. So I just want to, kind of keep going over some god builds that I use. But I want to go over Nemesis today. So Nemesis is awesome. She's a ton of fun and she's pretty good. Now that being said, I do mostly play Arena. So it may not be the best all the time. But in Arena, I really like Nemesis, and she is really good if someone is engaging. She's a good follow up and a good god to clean up. So let's go ahead and get into the build. For starting items, I use Attacker's Blessing. Gives you 20 physical power, 25 magical power. And I guess the quest role, damage lane minions and enemy gods to gain stacks. Dealing 100 damage to lane minions provides 1 stack, and dealing 100 damage to enemy gods provides 3 stacks. At 100 stacks, it evolves, gaining 10 penetration. So, for a starting item, you're pretty much going to keep this until you get to the very last item of your build, which is when you'll sell it and build that last item. So, this one's just really good for Nemesis. She has mostly physical power. I think maybe one of her abilities might use some magical, but for the most part, you're going to be building her physical anyways. The magical power is just like a little bonus in the beginning. And then I grab healing potion and mana potion. I believe I usually grab 2 of each, which actually I should fix that. But I also grab the first part of Hydra's Lament. So that is my starting build. Attacker's Blessing, the very first part of Hydra's Lament, and then the healing potions and mana potions. After that, I build Hydra's Lament completely. Hydra's Lament is 40 physical power, 10% cooldown reduction, 10 MP5. For 8 seconds after using an ability, your next basic attack will deal an additional 40% damage. This item grants 2.5 MP5 per 10% of your missing mana. Nemesis sort of has a mana problem. So it's not so bad to the point where you're going to just build a bunch of mana items, but Hydra's Lament kind of fixes the mana problem. You could instead go with Transcendence, but personally, I feel Hydra's Lament is just better throughout the game, whereas Transcendence is going to be better once you have a lot of mana. So depending on your build, will depend on what you want to do. If you choose to go Transcendence, you're going to want to get, actually you're probably going to want to get Hydra's Lament still, and maybe replace the Crusher with something that gives you mana, like Heartseeker. So instead of the Crusher, you'd grab Heartseeker. But my go-to is always Hydra's Lament, then Ninja Tabi, then Crusher. So that is my go-to build, at least for the first 3 items. Now, I'm going to go over why I get the boots first, but I get the boots after Hydra's Lament, and then I get Ninja Tabi. So plus 20 physical power, plus 100 mana, plus 25% attack speed, and plus 18% movement speed. So Warrior Tabi, it could be considered better because it's giving you 40 physical power. But I personally like having the extra attack speed, so I go with Ninja Tabi. Warrior Tabi is still a great choice. If you feel the need to have the 20 extra physical power, grab Warrior Tabi. That's not a problem. The boots are kind of a preference thing, but I like Ninja Tabi because attack speed on Nemesis is just crazy. Because her third attack, she kind of like does a drop hit, and it does extra damage. So if you can get that attack off more, you're going to be doing more damage more often. So then I go with the Crusher. Plus 30 physical power, plus 20% attack speed, plus 15 physical penetration. The passive, Enemies hit by your damaging abilities take an additional 20 physical damage plus 15% of your physical power over 2 seconds. The Crusher is good. So, like I said, you could replace the Crusher with Heartseeker, and you could replace Hydra's Lament with Transcendence. Those would be kind of the switch for your first two items. So that is fine, but I feel Hydra's Lament and the Crusher is just a really solid build. I've had really good success with them. Um, I After that, you do kind of want to get either a crit item, a lifesteal item, or an attack speed item. So I typically grab either Bloodforge or Deathbringer. So Bloodforge, if I'm having trouble surviving, that's what I'll grab next. So after the Crusher, I will grab Bloodforge. It's plus 75 physical power, plus 15% physical lifesteal. Killing an enemy god forges a shield from their blood with health equal to 200 plus 10 per player level for 20 seconds. While the blood shield is active, you gain 10% movement speed. Bloodforge is amazing. So I would get that either before Deathbringer or after, but no later than that. So next, I would grab Deathbringer. It's 40 physical power and 25% critical strike chance. And then the passive, critical strike bonus damage dealt is increased by 30%. Deathbringer is amazing. You actually don't even need another crit item if you build some attack speed after. But you could instead go with another crit item. So I always get the Executioner next. You could get Rage instead, which would look like that for the stats. You would have 55% crit chance, or 55 crit chance, which is great. And that's only the non-upgraded version of Rage. Rage at max, I believe, is 45% crit chance. So you'd get about 15% more crit chance than what is shown right now. But your attack speed goes down to 1.88 instead of 2.13. So I go for the Executioner over Rage. 35 physical power, 25% attack speed. Basic attacks against an enemy reduce your target's physical protection by 7% for 3 seconds. Max of 3 stacks. So Executioner is really good, especially if you have a good chunk of attack speed. You could, instead of Executioner, like I said, you could get Rage, but you could also get Hastened Katana. 25 physical power, 20% attack speed, 10% movement speed. Hitting an enemy with a basic attack grants haste for 1 second, causing you to be immune from basic attack movement penalty. So, Hastened Katana is awesome, but it's somewhat situational. So, I would build Executioner or Rage, and then if you get to that point, you could sell your boots and get Hastened Katana. This way, you're not kind of losing any attacks or movement speed because of the basic attacks. So, of course, that's up to you. That's my choice, of course. So, for the relics, I use Heavenly Wings and Meditation Cloak. You could absolutely use Aegis Amulet and Purification Beads. All those are good choices. Use what you feel most comfortable with. And then for the last part, I'm going to go over the abilities. So the order you want to build is you're going to go with Slice and Dice, Swift Vengeance, Slice and Dice, Retribution, Divine Judgment. So your Retribution is important, but you're not going to be engaging like crazy in the beginning. You're not going to be a martyr. I mean, if you can get a kill, grab it, sure. But Otherwise, you're gonna play back until your tank goes in. Until the focus is off of you, you're gonna stay back. So after Divine Judgment, I then go Slice and Dice, Retribution, Divine Judgment, Slice and Dice, Retribution, Retribution, Divine Judgment, Retribution, Swift Vengeance, Divine Judgment, Swift Vengeance, Divine Judgment. So you're going to max your Slice and Dice first, then Retribution, then Swift Vengeance, and then Divine Judgment. Now, you don't have to do it in this order. This is just the order I've noticed has the most success. It's up to you, of course. So the passive of Nemesis is actually pretty good. So Nemesis holds the scales of balance, hitting enemies with basic attacks tips the scales in her favor, reducing her target's physical and magical power and increasing hers. That's insane. So she can get 3 stacks on. She's getting physical and magical power while making the other person lose physical and magical power. So attack speed actually helps her a lot. That's kind of why I try to get to at least 2.0 attack speed if I can. But 2.13 is what I usually am at. So her passive is the reason you would want to get attack speed. It's a buff, and I guess a debuff for the enemy. Next, Swift Vengeance. Nemesis dashes in a line, dealing damage to enemies in her path, and may dash again within 2 seconds. She may use basic attacks and abilities between the dashes. So it's basically just a kind of catch-up thing. You know, she's an assassin. She has to get close. So she has to catch up to anything that's running. So that's what Swift Vengeance is mostly for. You can kill with it, but I wouldn't try to kill with it. It's mostly to catch people or to run away. Next is Slice and Dice. This is your most important damaging ability. So she swings her blade, dealing damage in an area in front of her. Enemies in the center of her swing are struck for 2 times damage and slowed for 2 seconds. This is everything to Nemesis. It does damage, and it slows. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. And it's a pretty good size cone, so it's a good ability. And then Retribution. Nemesis activates a temporary shield around herself that protects her from a set amount of damage or until time expires. A percentage of incoming damage from gods is healed and reflected back to the source. Hard crowd control effects remove the shield. This is a fantastic thing if you're in a fight. So if you're being focused at all, you want to pop your Retribution, and they're either going to stop focusing you, or you're just going to, kill them. You do a lot of damage, especially towards the end game. Your damage is insane. So Retribution is kind of just like your support. So Divine Judgment. Nemesis chooses a single enemy god, reducing their health and movement speed and stealing a portion of their protections for a time period. Her movement speed is also increased during this time. It's a way to chase. You can take the protections they have, so I think this works on Aphrodite's big shield, but that being said, it's hard to kind of time that. You reduce their health, reduce their movement speed, you get increased movement speed. It's just, it's too good. It's not the absolute best ultimate there is, but this helps immensely. So put this on either something that you want to die quick, or if you're killing those things that are dying quick, so mages, other assassins, hunters, put it on a tank and you'll shred the tank. So with that being said though, that's the build, guys. I really hope you like the build. Nemesis is one of my favorite gods in Smite, so I hope you guys have as much fun as I do with this build. Like I said, there's some things that can be changed around, and that's fine. Use what you're comfortable with. But remember, Nemesis needs someone to go in first. She is not the engage. If you engage with Nemesis, you're likely to die. So play smart. But anyways, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button. I do a video every Thursday and every Sunday. Sunday is for Warframe. Thursday is for everything else. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.